Going into high school, my life was pretty good. Everything was kind of lined up for me. I had my passions, it was sports, friends, and family. But starting freshman year, that tide kind of changed a little bit. All those things began to be threatened in ways that I didn't anticipate. My mom got cancer, my dad got Parkinson's. The new scene, the social scene freshman year is just different than what it was in middle school and what I was used to in grade school. Specifically with sports, I was a 3-sport athlete. I played football, baseball, and basketball. And I just got more injuries than you can count. One of my friends, Peter Jarrett, during a football practice, he just crushed me. And my helmet flew off and it chipped a vertebrae in the back of my neck. So I had to be in a neck brace for the first 5 months of high school as I'm being introduced to new people and things like that. So you can imagine how well that went.
Back in 2005, I was working in the finance world, and my wife was on staff with Young Life. And during the evenings, what I would do is I'd go to the high school with her, and we would walk around and meet kids at Wheaton South High School. And I was a part of the volunteer team for Young Life. As a Young Life leader, you ask yourself, what am I good at? How am I going to get to know people at this high school? How am I going to get to know kids? And I'm not good at a lot of things, all right? I'm a pretty, I'm gifted at a couple things, not a lot of things. And one of those things is I'm an amazing super fan. And I thought to myself, how can this 26-year-old with a receding hairline get to know high school kids? And I thought to myself, heck, let's go superfan style. So what I did is I got a roster of the top, like all the kids of the freshman class, A, B, and C teams. There's 105 kids. And I remembered every one of their names with their number. What happened is one day I showed up at the game and there was one kid with a neck brace. And I liked this kid. He seemed great. And I wanted him to come to Young Life and he wouldn't come. So one day I was walking around the hallways with my wife at the high school and I see the kid with the neck brace. And immediately, laser beam, I see the neck brace and I go run over to him like, you gotta come to the Young Life, man. You'd love it. Well, I had this idea, and the idea, I was at work and I was supposed to be doing something different than this, but I went to the workroom where they've got the supplies, and I created a neck brace while I was supposed to be selling bonds. So other people at the company were selling bonds. I was in the workroom secretly making a neck brace.
At each game, I would still show up. I was still part of the team. I had sort of a clipboard. I was taking stats and things. And this guy started to show up just randomly. And he was shirtless. And he had my number painted on him. And he came in a neck brace. And he would just yell my name like some little, twerp on the sideline with a full neck brace. And this guy was in the bleachers yelling my name, and we thought it was hilarious. My teammates thought it was the funniest thing ever because here you have these studs on the field like Peter, who dominated my neck, doing great things, and this guy shows up and cheers for the kid in the neck brace. And so as it kind of unfolded, we were just so curious as to who this guy was and how funny it was and what he was doing. And so we would talk to him after the games, and he would talk about this thing called Young Life, and he would just, come on out, it's on a Monday night, it's at this kid's house this week, that kid's house next week. And so my friends and I were interested, and we showed up and we had tons of fun, and it was a place where we could just sort of have an outlet and get away. It was a social thing, but it was also an experience for us to encounter, for many of us, the first encounter with religion, true religion. Dan, who I would eventually learn his name, he started talking about Young Life Camp. He said over and over, best week of your life, best week of your life, I guarantee it, best week of your life. And we kind of rolled our eyes, we're like, sure, whatever.
Eventually he came to Young Life Camp. And at Young Life Camp, I saw something that was totally amazing. That week, God decided that he was going to just show himself to Erik most. And I've seen a lot of kids hear about Jesus. I haven't seen a lot of kids experience Jesus in the way that Erik did that week.
And so throughout that week of camp, as fun as it was, and it was the best week of our lives, he wasn't lying, I began to sort of put the pieces together. That, I think it was August 2nd, 2007, so it was 10 years ago, a decade ago in August. At night, just kind of sitting on a little hillside, and something just clicked, and I realized that Christ was the true fulfillment of all of those things that I was looking for in all of those other areas of life. And Dan helped me see that, and he walked alongside me. And so when that took place, it wasn't like some weird thing, but it just something shifted in my mind. And I remember going up to him and saying like, hey, all of those things that we were talking about, like something just happened. Can we pray together? And we prayed like on the spot. I remember we were kind of sitting on a bench next to one of the cabins. And from there on out, my life took a pivot that was unprecedented. Not only did Dan help me along that process, but he also put me in leadership positions in Young Life to be able to do for other kids what he had done for me. And throughout that time, realized that the rest of my life, all I wanted to do was to be able to do for other kids what Dan had done for me.
To see a person who experienced the love of God and to keep experiencing it year after year after year after year. And I think the fact that God let me be a part of Erik's life through a fake neck brace, it's one of the happiest experiences in my life to be able to see God in that way.
My name's Erik Most. I graduated Wheaton South in 2009, and God used Dan Orr through Young Life to impact my life.
My name is Dan Orr, and I was a Young Life leader from 1998 to 2010, and I'm still Erik Most's Young Life leader today.